Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the price mechanism and how it operates when we have an increase in demand and an increase in supply. So we look at what happens when we have an increase in demand first. Then we'll move on to an increase in supply. So in the free market, price acts as a rationing device, an incentive, and a signal. So let's see what happens if we have an increase in demand, how price operates in this manner. So let's start off with our equilibrium, quantity and price at P0, Q0. And let's assume that our demand curve shifts from D to D1. So we have an increase in demand. What goes on there? If price remains at P0, what will occur is we will have quantity demanded being at this new point here, we could call it Q1, and quantity supplied still being at Q0. So quantity demanded is being greater than quantity supplied, and that causes a shortage. So in order to get rid of the shortage, remember what happens? Price has to increase. So price will increase to P1. And when price increases, quantity demanded on this new demand curve will fall. So it will ration the goods and services available. So that's the rationing taking place because the price is increasing. So quantity demanded will fall. It will now be an incentive for firms to produce more because of the higher price. So notice at this price, the supply curve expanded. So we have an increase in quantity supply, that's the incentive, because we all know the law of supply. As price increases, quantity supplied would increase. And the higher prices also signal to other firms who were not in the industry before to produce more. And so overall we're seeing that supply would increase. So this brings the industry to the new equilibrium point. So we could call the first one E0. It will bring it to a new equilibrium point E1. So now we're going to examine what happens when the price mechanism operates when we have an increase in supply. So of course we have to look at our equilibrium position at first. So we'll have our original equilibrium P0, price and quantity Q0. And let us assume that we have an increase in supply. That means that our supply curve will shift to the right, to S1. So we have this increase in supply. Now if price were to remain at P0, let me extend the price line P0 for it to touch this new supply curve. Let's see what would happen. If price were to remain the same, it means that this new supply would be, let's call it Q1, but our quantity demanded will still remain at Q0. And so our quantity supplied will be greater than the quantity demanded, and so we'll have excess supply happening in the market and we will have a surplus. And do you remember what happens when we have a surplus? Price has to fall to get rid of the excess supply. So price will have to fall to a new price P1. And what happens when price falls? When price falls, remember the law of demand. When price falls, quantity demanded would increase. So notice we have an expansion along the demand curve. And at the same time, when price falls, it tells suppliers to produce less. And so we have a decrease in quantity supplied. And this happens until demand and supply intersect again at this new equilibrium output and price combination E1. And so again, notice with the price mechanism, whether it is we have an increase in demand or an increase in supply, we always end up in a situation where we will come to an equilibrium position. It may not be the original equilibrium position, but we will end up at an equilibrium position nonetheless. I am Ms. Lushu. I make economics videos. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and remember to hit that notification bell.